Emma and Sophie had been best friends since they were 6 years old. They lived in the same neighborhood, walked to school together every day, and shared everything with each other. Although they were very close friends, they were completely different when it came to studies. Emma was one of the smartest students in school. She loved reading books, solving difficult questions, and learning new things. Every year she ranked at the top of her class. Teachers praised and used her as an example for their own children. Sophie, on the other hand, struggled with studies. She found mathematics confusing and science difficult. No matter how hard she tried, her grades were never very good. While Emma spent hours reading textbooks, Sophie preferred helping her mother in the kitchen or talking to people at the local market. Many students compared the two friends. Emma will become someone important one day, they often said. And Sophie, others would ask. They would laugh and reply, who knows? She can barely pass her exams. Sophie heard these comments many times. They hurt her feelings, but she never showed it. One afternoon after school, the two friends sat beneath a large tree near the playground. "What do you want to be when you grow up?" Emma asked. Sophie smiled. "I don't know exactly, but I want to run a business." Emma looked surprised. "A business?" "Yes. I love meeting people and selling things." Emma laughed gently. "Well, I want to become a teacher." "Then you'll be a great one," Sophie said. "And you'll be a great businesswoman," Emma replied. The two friends laughed together and continued dreaming about their futures. Years passed quickly. As they entered high school, the difference between them became even more obvious. Emma continued earning excellent grades. She won competitions, received awards, and became one of the school's most respected students. Sophie continued struggling. She often failed tests and had to work twice as hard just to pass. Some teachers encouraged her, but others believed she would never achieve much. One day, after receiving poor exam results, Sophie sat alone in the classroom crying. Emma found her there. "Why are you crying?" she asked. "I'm tired of being called stupid," Sophie replied. Emma sat beside her. "Grades don't decide your value. That's easy for you to say. You're always first in class." Emma thought for a moment. Then she said, "Everyone has different talents. Maybe books aren't your strongest talent, but that doesn't mean you can't be successful." Sophie's eyes filled with tears. She never forgot those words. After graduating from high school, Emma received admission to a respected university. Her family was proud. Teachers celebrated her success. Everyone expected her to have a bright future. Sophie finished school as well, but her grades were not high enough for a good university. Many people viewed this as failure. Some neighbors even told her parents that she should simply find a small job and stop dreaming about business. But Sophie refused to give up. Instead of attending university, she began helping at a small tea stall owned by her uncle. The stall was located near a busy bus station. Every day hundreds of people stopped there for tea. At first, Sophie only cleaned tables and served customers. But she paid close attention to everything. She observed which drinks customers preferred. She learned how to manage money. She watched how suppliers delivered products. She noticed what made customers return. While others saw a simple tea stall, Sophie saw a classroom. Every day she learned something new. Meanwhile, Emma worked hard at university. She spent years studying education. Her professors admired her dedication. After graduation, she found a job as a teacher at a local school. The day she entered her classroom for the first time, she felt incredibly proud. She had achieved her childhood dream. For several years, life moved forward. Emma became a respected teacher. Students loved her lessons. Parents appreciated her efforts. Although her salary was modest, she enjoyed helping children learn. Sophie continued working at the tea stall. Many people still looked down on her. Whenever former classmates saw her serving tea, they assumed she had failed in life. "What a shame," some whispered. She was never good at studies. Sophie heard these comments but ignored them. She focused on her goal. After saving money for years, she finally opened her own tiny tea shop. The shop was small. The furniture was old. The sign outside was simple. On the first day, only a few customers arrived. At night, Sophie counted her earnings. The amount was disappointing. For a moment she felt discouraged. Then she remembered Emma's words. Everyone has different talents. The next morning she opened the shop again. And again the following day. And again after that. Weeks turned into months. Months turned into years. Slowly, customers began noticing something special about Sophie's tea. She always welcomed people with a smile. She remembered regular customers' names. She listened to their stories. Her tea tasted wonderful. People enjoyed spending time in her shop. Word spread throughout the town. More customers arrived. Business improved. Soon the small shop became too crowded. Sophie decided to take a risk. She borrowed money and opened a larger cafe. Many people warned her against it. What if you fail? What if nobody comes? What if you lose everything? Sophie listened politely. Then she continued moving forward. The first few months were difficult. There were days when she worried constantly. But she worked harder than ever. She arrived before sunrise and left long after midnight. Gradually the cafe became successful. Customers loved the comfortable atmosphere and delicious tea. Tourists began visiting. Social media posts attracted even more attention. Before long, the cafe became one of the most popular places in town. Several years later, Sophie opened a second branch. Then a third. Then a fourth. Her business continued growing. She hired employees and trained them carefully. Many of those employees came from poor families. Some had struggled in school just as she had. Sophie gave them opportunities because she understood their challenges. One day, nearly 15 years after leaving school, Emma finished teaching and decided to visit a new cafe everyone was talking about. The building was beautiful. The parking lot was full. Customers filled every table. Emma entered and looked around. Something felt familiar. Then she saw a woman speaking with staff members near the counter. It was Sophie. Emma stared in surprise. Sophie. Sophie turned around. For a second she seemed shocked. Then her face lit up with joy. Emma. The two friends hugged warmly. It's been years, Emma said. I know, Sophie replied. They sat together and began talking. Emma learned that Sophie now owned multiple cafes across several cities. Her company employed hundreds of people. Her earnings were far greater than Emma had imagined. Emma smiled proudly. I'm so happy for you. Sophie laughed. Do you remember when everyone thought I would fail? Emma nodded. I remember. They both laughed. A waiter brought tea to their table. Emma looked around the cafe. Customers were smiling. Employees seemed happy. The business was thriving. You built all of this? Emma asked. Sophie nodded. It took many years. Emma felt genuinely proud of her friend. Many people might have felt jealous. But Emma understood that success comes in many forms. She loved teaching. Sophie loved business. Both had followed their passions. As they talked, several customers approached Sophie to thank her. One elderly man said her cafe had become his favorite place to spend time. A young woman thanked her for providing employment. A family praised the quality of service. Watching this, Emma realized something important. Sophie's success was not only measured by money. She was making a positive impact on many lives. Before leaving, Emma asked a question. If you could go back in time and speak to your younger self, what would you say? Sophie smiled thoughtfully. I would tell her not to worry about comparisons. What do you mean? I spent years feeling inferior because my grades weren't good. I believed success belonged only to top students. But I eventually learned that everyone has unique strengths. Emma nodded. That's true. Sophie continued. Education is important. Very important. But grades alone don't decide a person's future. Hard work, determination, creativity, and persistence matter too. Emma smiled. I wish every student could hear that. A few weeks later, Emma invited Sophie to speak at her school. The students gathered in the auditorium. Many expected to hear a story about perfect grades and academic success. Instead, Sophie told them the truth. She spoke about failure. She spoke about rejection. She spoke about being laughed at. She spoke about working long hours at a tea stall. And she spoke about refusing to quit. The students listened carefully. Some of them struggled in school. Some felt discouraged. For the first time, they saw someone who had succeeded despite academic difficulties. At the end of her speech, a student raised his hand. Does that mean grades don't matter? Sophie smiled. No, grades matter. Education matters. But they are not the only things that matter. Whatever path you choose, you must work hard and never stop learning. The auditorium erupted with applause. Years later, Emma remained a wonderful teacher. Sophie continued expanding her business. Both women achieved success in their own ways. One through education, the other through entrepreneurship. Their friendship remained strong because neither measured success by comparison. They understood that life offers different opportunities to different people. Not everyone is meant to follow the same road. Some people shine in classrooms. Others shine in businesses. Some become teachers. Some become entrepreneurs. What truly matters is discovering your strengths, working hard, and staying committed to your dreams. And whenever people asked Emma and Sophie about the secret of success, they always shared the same lesson. Never judge your future based on today's results. A poor grade does not mean a poor future. Success belongs to those who keep learning, keep working, and never give up. Their story became an inspiration to many young people, because it proved that while education is valuable, determination, courage, and persistence can also transform dreams into reality. And that is why both Emma and Sophie considered themselves successful, not because of money, grades, or titles, but because they had followed their hearts and built lives they truly loved. Heart.